Woman discovers something terrible while surfing the web. She found out that her husband's social media account, there was a girl who appeared on his social media accounts, and the other person is also shown as single. The woman felt a strange uneasiness, although it seems that they are not intimate, but the eyes of both parties can't be deceived. To prove her suspicions, she puts on her makeup and sprayed on her husband's favorite perfume. When she came back from work, Lisa changed her attitude. She took the initiative and leaned towards her husband, but she didn't realize that her husband just kissed her. He just kissed her and left. Lisa felt humiliated. However, when they were both asleep, her husband's phone suddenly received a message. Jack panicked and turned off his cell phone, but his wife heard it. Lisa demanded to check his cell phone, but her husband thought they should trust each other. But no matter how he explains it, his wife wouldn't believe him. That any co-worker would send a message at 4 a.m. Just as he was about to rush over and grab it, Jack grabbed the cell phone. He was about to lose it to his wife. He forcefully broke Lisa's arm. Without hesitation, he threw the phone out. The next day, Lisa pretended that nothing had happened. She apologized to her husband for her impulsive behavior. She offered to fix the phone for her, but Jack said it was years old. He wanted to buy a new one. Lisa left in frustration, but Jack wasn't as easy as he said he was. The two of them looked like a loving couple. On the other hand, Lisa called the cell phone company. She said her cell phone was broken. She wanted to access important information, but when she found out she needed her husband's ID, she refused her request. Lisa came to her husband's company party. She saw the woman in the photo in the crowd, looking at the two people in love on the stage. Lisa resisted the urge, but when the party started, she saw their backs heading to the second floor. A bad feeling appeared. Lisa followed them, but the place was awfully quiet. In order not to be discovered by the two in the room, he took off his shoes and slowly approached the door. But when Lisa reached the door, she was stunned by what she saw. The two men were having sex in the room. She saw it all, but Lisa didn't stop them. She went home and cried, "If you think he's weak, you're wrong." The next day, the two of them had another date at the construction site. Jack thought it would be like this. He thought it would stay that way without any trouble, but then Anna came up with the idea of getting married. He didn't want to keep cheating on his wife. She even threatened him to confess to his wife. Jack had no choice but to find Lisa, but then he proposed a temporary separation, but he didn't expect Lisa to tell him. Did he have a secret lover?
Ser du en anden?
Jeg kan ikke mærke mig selv i det her længere.
Så du ser ikke en anden?
Nej.
In the face of her husband's lies, Lisa stopped pretending. She told him that she saw them in the office. Then Lisa warned Jack that if he persisted in betraying himself, he would go to the police and report him for financial fraud. That not only would he risk going to jail, he would end up having his money taken away by the government. Jack didn't expect his wife to be prepared, but what happened next made her terrified of Lisa, and it will shock you all. Jack found his best friend and told him what he was confused about. The man gave him an idea, suggested he could start with his wife's friends and see if he could convince them. Then Jack went to Lisa's best friend and asked for help with the breakdown of their relationship. But the best friend said that it wasn't that easy to get her to leave because Lisa had a boyfriend before and she had a crush on a neighbor girl behind her back. But in the end, he fell off a cliff. The best friend suspected that Lisa had something to do with it, but it's all just his guess. Then Jack went to the cliff back then. If he can't get the evidence of his wife's crime, then he could get rid of him. He contacted the girl next door. Turns out, they were on a camping trip, but the boyfriend went to the woods with the girl. He went to the woods with the girl without Lisa's knowledge, but he wasn't sure if he'd been spotted. It wasn't long before he heard him screaming. When the girl came over, the boy wasn't breathing. Jack wanted to know if Lisa had done it, but he couldn't get the answers he wanted. But he didn't know Lisa was behind him. Her eyes were full of hate, but she didn't kill her husband. She followed him. She saw him meet Anna's parents again. Lisa finally made up her mind. When Jack returned, Lisa threatened to call the police again. She threatened to break up with him. But when Anna got on the phone, Jack didn't know how to speak. He hesitated for a long time, but couldn't say it. He thought it would be too unfair to both of them. But before he could finish, Lisa kicked Jack out of the house. Faced with the possibility of a clean break, Jack finally showed his intention to kill. He pulled over to the side of the road and ambushed his wife on her way to the house. When he saw Lisa passing by, Jack didn't hesitate to start the car. His eyes were firm. He hit the gas pedal and crashed into the car. The woman was instantly knocked to the ground, but did not expect the fate of the wife in such a violent impact. actually did not die. In order to prevent the crisis, Jack started the car again. The woman was run over twice. After seeing his wife lose her life, she was finally satisfied to leave. To create an alibi for himself, Jack went back to the office and pretended to work late so that the cleaning staff could see him. Then he went home without worrying. Jack took a cold shower, trying to cleanse himself of his sins. Then he poured himself a glass of red wine. But just when he thought it was over, he heard his wife's voice. He couldn't believe his eyes, looking at his wife alive in front of him. Jack was stunned. She was trembling. She didn't say a word for a long time. When it became clear that Lisa had taken a new route, that was the moment Jack realized that he had killed the wrong person last night. But Lisa didn't know that. She thought her husband had fallen in love with her again. She returned her car to Jack the next day, but when Lisa drove to work alone, she saw that the police had blocked off the road. Knowing that there had been a hit and run last night, Lisa didn't realize it. They thought the woman was Lisa. That's why he killed him. Lisa thought it was just a car accident, but when he got to the car wash, he realized that the dollars on his card were gone. Lisa went to the clerk and confronted him. She was told that someone had used the card last night. She went home. She got the video of the car wash that night. The white car in the footage was exactly what the police said it was. She looked at her husband, whose eyes were averted. Lisa realized she didn't realize that her husband was targeting her. Fortunately, her son suddenly came up. Lisa found a chance to run away. Jack was in a state of panic. He was worried that his wife would tell on him, but he didn't expect that in the evening, Lisa asked him to meet her at the restaurant. She threatened him with the truth about Jack. She threatened to cut him off from his wife. He threatened to kill the woman because if she was still alive, she'd always be a threat to him. When Jack hesitated, then Lisa revealed a shocking secret. It turns out that when she was young, she saw her boyfriend cheating on her, so she came behind him while he was smoking a cigarette. She came behind him, Lisa, in order to take revenge on her cheating boyfriend. Lisa brutally pushed him off the cliff. Then he ran back to the classroom in a panic. 1 second before the music ended, pretended she never left, and the teacher on duty proved her alibi. Lisa told Jack now to prove that she loved her. If her husband can't kill Anna, then both of them will have something on each other. They'll both live and die together. Faced with this horrible wife, Jack had no choice but to agree. In order to create an alibi for him, they went to an upscale hotel. The husband took the opportunity to jump from the second floor. He appeared at his girlfriend's house, but Anna is still angry that he's been missing for days. She didn't want to talk to Jack anymore, but she didn't expect the men to break the glass to make it look like a home invasion. But when he heard Anna's terrified pleas, Jack hesitated. On the other hand, Lisa used her husband's cell phone to send a breakup text to Anna on her husband's cell phone. Then she waited for the waiter to deliver the food. With the excuse of getting a tip, she told the man to wait. She hid in the restroom and used a pre-recorded voice to make the waiter think her husband was in the shower, creating the perfect alibi. But Lisa thought it was a perfect plan. But she didn't know her husband was disconnected. But when Jack opened the bathroom door, he didn't expect to see his wife covered in blood, and Anna wasn't breathing. Jack had no choice but to accept the truth. Soon after, the police received a call from a neighbor. They couldn't find any valuable evidence in the room, but they did find out about Anna's relationship with Jack. However, when the police came to question them, Lisa told them that they had broken up and provided an alibi. The police had no choice but to leave. They filed a missing persons report on Anna. They organized a large number of police officers to search the area, but after days of searching, they couldn't find her. At the same time, the town was hosting a party. Jack and his friends rode towards the center of the lake, but when faced with the police on the other side of the lake, Jack was panicking in the face of the police across the lake after he used up his last match to light a bonfire in the center of the lake. Listening to the dog screams, the sheriff sensed something strange, but he couldn't quite put his finger on it. As he watched the townspeople rejoice, he had no choice but to leave. But no one knew, and his body was hidden under the bonfire, and this secret will be buried when the fire is extinguished because bones burn at 1,200 degrees. Soon Lisa sold the house. They decided to live somewhere else.